Hello and welcome to my new drawing, how to draw a candle flame step by step. For this drawing I'm going to use just some basic materials, some grey paper and some soft coloured pastels. The first step in this drawing will be to draw part of the flame, the white part of the flame. It just needs to be a mark with some speed and direction to the mark. The next step in this drawing is to add some yellow to the side of the white and let it blend in a little bit. So now we've got the start of the flame and I've just placed it in the centre of the page, so nothing much to do with composition in this picture. Now I'll add a little bit of orange just to the side and that will blend in with the yellow. And then next I think I'm going to just add a little bit more white. So I'm just using some soft pastels. Now these soft pastels aren't the same as oil pastels. Soft pastels are the more chalky like ones that you can rub with your fingers to blend them in. So I'm just blending in the white over the top of the yellow to get a more graded tone between white and yellow. And now I need to draw the top of the candle, which is just a circle on its side and an ellipse. And then I'll just do the two vertical sides of the candle. So I've got the basic shape of the candle and I've got the basic structure of the flame in tone and colour. And now for the candle I just need to block in some white areas. So for this I will use the side of the pastel and not press too hard so that the white that I'm now drawing isn't quite as strong as the white that I put in for the top of the candle flame. I just blend that in a little bit with my fingers so it becomes a more subtle tone. So that sort of works to a degree, but I'm going to take this a little bit further forward and develop this drawing a little bit more. So I just smudge in anything that seems to need to be a little bit more vague. And now I think some of the yellow of the flame of the candle needs to be in the top of the actual candle structure. So again I'm just putting a little bit of yellow on top of the white. And now put some white on top of the yellow. So by this way just blending it through and using my fingers and just sort of doing a little bit too much and then wiping it off a little bit or blending it with my fingers and making sure that the flame always stays the brightest part of the picture. So I'll add a little bit of lighter area to the top of the candle here. And now I think it's time for the next step, which is just to add the darkness of the wick. So I'll just use a black pastel in that area and just give a little flick of a shape. And then I guess there needs to be a little bit more red and that will become orange going through slightly above the wick. And then I think some of this red needs to come into the side of the candle, sort of smudging into the yellow that that I drew a little bit earlier on. Now the candle probably needs to come and go a little bit, so I just set this flame at the top a little bit more. So I want it blended, but not so blended that it becomes bland. So you need a few sort of flecks of high contrast things happening within the candle flame to make it more dramatic. So I'm adding a little bit more yellow than I had. Now again with this candle I think I need to make it darker and put the colours in a little bit too strong at the beginning, and then maybe I can make them a little bit more subtle later on. So I just put in some yellow and now I'll add a little bit of black just to make the tone darker, which I think will work okay on this grey paper. If you weren't using grey paper I think this drawing would work very well on black paper as well. Just so happened that I had some grey paper so I used that. Now I put a little bit of red in as well. So I'm basically putting quite a few of the colour I've already used in the candle flame into the actual candle. So next I'll use a little bit of red just to make it a little bit stronger. And just along the top of the flame that would be a good idea too. I don't know if that's too bright, I might just change that in a moment. But first of all I just try and get the candle rather than candle flame just working a little bit better by blending some white on top of the various colours with the sort of palette that I'm using, the various colours I'm using, just blending some white on it so that the colours show through but they're not so obvious as they are when I first drew them. So I think the candle needs a little bit of light on one side as well. So I'm making it a bit too crude at this stage and hopefully we'll just blend it. I could blend it now, just blend it a little bit. So I think that's okay. So the next step is just to keep blending really and making sure that I've got the basic structure and quality of light right. So it's a fiddly little thing. A candle, you don't want to make it too tight, because a candle isn't a static thing. A photograph is a static thing, but a candle actually goes and moves. It's sort of alive in a way, isn't it? So you want to capture that a little bit in your drawing. So it's not something really, really still, but it's something that looks like it could move in time. So that's what I'm trying to do. Once you've got to a certain stage, I think I'll put some darkness in the background to this picture soon. Just put some black into the background, I think, and then that black should hold the whole picture together. So I just work on these colours a little bit more on the candle. Again, strengthening them up a little bit, and then going to knock them back again. So at this stage I'm really looking at the whole picture, or the whole candle and the flame, and trying to make both parts work together so that they're not separate. So I haven't just got a flame, I've got the candle, and the candle works with the flame in the way that the flame works with the candle. So it's a bit of a seesaw sort of thing. So you get one thing working, and then it makes the other thing not quite so work so well. So I'm just trying to find that balance between the two right now, so that I can get both things sort of working, so that there's some tension between them, but they also visually work together. So that's really what I'm trying to do here. This video is sort of in real time, so it takes a little bit of time just to sort this out. So I think the actual candle's starting to come along a little bit. It's very hard to know when you finish a picture or when you should stop. Normally it's very easy to tell when you've done a little bit too much, but I think here, not sure. So once that question sort of appears in my head, I think, well, probably it is time to stop. So I'll leave the candle for now in the flame, can't really go back to it. And now all I need to do is just add some black into the background. So I'll speed up the video from this stage onwards, because basically it's finished. I hope you like this drawing, and I hope you find it useful for your own drawings. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Circle Line Art School, for many more art videos. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.